Dad, are you crying?
Who is your daddy?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I am your father.
Welcome back to Two Dads, One Sippy Cup. We are live. Hope you're psyched. I didn't do a rhyme this time. That's okay. We missed last week because of that was on account of me. I'll take the L on that one. That was my bad. But
you want on is you're just trying to delay the 50th episode.
Is next episode the 50th episode? Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You're just trying to push it back. You want the hype train,
We're hyping it up.
You want that hype train.
It's big time hype.
I just farted. That's how hyped I was.
We made it 38 seconds before we were talking about poop.
Well, speaking of poop.
Yeah.
It's been a long couple weeks, my friend.
So you've been quite under the weather for a couple weeks now.
Well, I don't know for our listeners.
You texted me the other day. I've been pissing out of my asshole since 12 a.m. last night.
Yeah. I'll rewind a little before that. A couple podcast episodes ago, I said my great expectation was I was going to get sick because it was long overdue. And it only took about 2 more weeks after that for it to really happen, where Michael got sick. My wife had to take off from work 2 days. I had to take off a day. Then he was fine. But then you know who wasn't fine, Vinny? Me. I wasn't fine. I could not keep anything in my body for longer than 2 minutes.
Are you someone who, when you're throwing up like that and stuff, like, are you someone who like loses a lot of weight because of it, or no? Or you're not someone who probably weighs yourself like on a regular basis where you would know, right?
I never weigh myself.
Okay. I was just curious because like I feel like Marissa always says stuff like that to me, like, oh yeah, like I lost like 4 pounds because like. I feel like maybe Marissa doesn't, but I feel like people always say shit like that. They're like, yeah, like I lost like so much weight from like throwing up, and I never understood that really.
Yeah, I don't weigh myself. See, my problem is, Vin, like, so for the first like 2 days of me just like having horrible diarrhea, I didn't want to eat, but then I got really hungry. So what happened was my biggest mistake was on St. Patrick's Day. During lunch, I went to Ben's Kosher Deli, sat down at Ben's, ordered a matzo ball soup and a corned beef sandwich. The problem was that corned beef sandwich hit me at Ben's. So I had to go into the bathroom at the place. I actually had to go twice.
You had to go in
like
and out. You had to go in and out.
I went in, then was like, okay, I'm done. Came back to the table, and like ate like 1 or 2 of Nick's French fries, and then went right back into the bathroom. and my wife was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" My problem is like, if I am hungry, there's really no stopping it. Like I'm gonna eat. If I see the thing was I wasn't throwing up.
Yeah, true. If you're throwing up, it's a whole different ballgame.
Like, not that I can handle it because I'm like a baby, but like when it's coming out that end, it's okay. When it's coming out of honestly, your mouth,
I'm good. Like I feel like I'm good. I feel like we can move forward.
Oh,
What's the next topic? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're good. You don't want to talk about the
I got it. No, I think the audience probably fully grasps the gravity of the situation at this point.
Okay.
And I would like to move on to the next part. I can't handle it. I can't.
So I feel you. I personally, if it was you, I don't think I would want to hear it either. But like it already happened to me. I lived it. It's not bothering me. But if it's bothering you, then for you've had a rough weekend. You know, you've gotten enough crap from people.
I've been crapped on all weekend. I've been crapped on all day today.
Yeah, but
I've been constantly crapped on this week.
Hey man, this is your safe space. You could talk about whatever.
Can I talk about that real quick?
Yeah. Hey man, this is your floor. Go for it.
Dude, I feel like I was really bullied. I feel like I'm still getting bullied. I'm just getting people.
Well, You're assuming that
Okay,
the
so
listeners know what we're talking about.
On my Instagram page recently, people have been extremely negative towards everything that I've been posting. Whatever, and like it doesn't bother me. It does bother me. It's a lie. When I keep saying to Marissa, it doesn't bother me, but it fucking bothers me. Obviously, like somebody commented today. They just wrote, "This guy sounds so arrogant." Had to be said. Like, I had to listen back to it like 3 times to be like, "What is this guy fucking hearing?" Like what is he hearing? Like,
It got in your head. It got in your head like that, where you
it gets in my head. Yeah, like I'm trying to like turn it off now because it's like. It just like fucking fucks with me, man. Like, it's insane.
Yo, why don't you just turn off comments?
Because I can't turn off the comments. That's like what drives the post.
Yes.
That would be like us turning off followers. Like, I don't get enough comments as it is. Like I need to like, you know, I don't know.
Well, man, why don't you just embrace it?
I try to, and then like I try to think of something funny or like something to say back, but everything I think of, I always feel like this is just gonna come off as me like punching down. Like it's always gonna feel like that. So I just don't say anything. I just shut the fuck up.
So, wow, you're defeated.
I can't say anything because if I say anything back, you can't win. Like you can't like you think you're gonna get them. Like you're like I got them, and then they just come back with something else. Like,
something like ridiculous, like tomato's not a vegetable.
Yeah, like that was insane. What was I supposed to say? Tomato's not the only fruit you can make sauce with. Like that doesn't even make any sense to say it like that. Whatever.
Nobody in their right mind calls a tomato a fruit.
No,
nobody.
There's just no way that you can refer to it like that. Like you could I get it. It's a fruit. I get it. But like
if you want to get like all specific about it, it's a fruit.
Yeah,
but it's
but
not.
If we're talking
it's
about
a tomato,
it's a vegetable.
It's a vegetable. Like just shut up.
All right, and then and then I got to come home and see my son this weekend. It's always cool when I come home from like a long trip, and then he sees me come out of my room upstairs, and he's like, "Dad's home!" Like,
yeah, he gets hyped.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. But I don't really have anything much to report on, just because like it was like a quick weekend, and I don't know.
Yeah, you were away, and then you were an absent father. It's
Absentee father, yeah, for sure.
All right, man. It's okay, man. It's all right.
So what did your week look like after you got a little bit better?
So I actually have a question for the podcast.
Is this a what would you do?
No, I want to know, is it my fault?
So this isn't is it my fault? This is the is it my fault segment.
Yeah, is it my fault? This
all right.
It's a
new segment.
So Michael got sick, then Nicole got mildly sick, and then like a full week later is when I got sick. Like from when Michael started. Like it was like a decent chunk. And as you know, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law had their second child.
All right.
And Nicole blamed me for not being able to go see them because I was sick.
I mean, whose fault? Like other than your fault, whose fault would it be? Like if
Michael was sick first.
Yeah, I mean, like I would go as far as saying it's the daycare lady's fault.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with blaming her. I'm with that.
I mean, I definitely don't think you can be blamed for that.
Well, see, this isn't the first time
quiet.
This happened.
Shh. Sit.
Whoa, that's the first time that happened.
And during the pod?
I've never even heard her bark in my life.
Barks every day now. It's so fucking annoying.
When Jimmy had his baby, we couldn't go meet her because I was sick.
So it was like the same situation that happened twice, both times.
Same situation. And same thing. It's all my fault, apparently.
I do feel like
my fault?
I feel like you need to up your immune system. Maybe I feel like you need to like work on that. You're always sick, man.
Bro, up until I had a child, I was never sick. Literally, I had the flu like once. I've only had the flu once. Like, I was never sick. And if I was totally fine. It didn't matter. Now I get sick, and it's like I'm sick. You know, like I've never. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, that is
And the
crazy that
fact
you get that sick that often.
that's why me and Nicole talked about, like, that's why some people must have kids like back to back. Like, you get all the sicknesses out, you get everything out, it's over.
True.
Like, I'm gonna have to do this again. Like,
Yeah, I guess,
like,
but like sort of not, because I feel like you will also be more immune to these things too, right?
I don't know how it works. Like,
I don't know
whenever
either.
I have another kid, like, are these sicknesses gonna be different? Like, are they,
You're gonna
like,
get
I
maybe
don't
you'll get
know.
COVID-20.
Ooh, that
They'll
doesn't sound
switch it up
fun.
on you. I don't know actually. You know what? Um, speak the Reddit post is actually about having one kid or more than one kid.
Ooh.
For today. So I feel like it'll be an interesting convo to kind of discuss that, especially revolving sicknesses, because like it does kind of feel like with the second kid, you're kind of like there's. I hate talking about stuff like this because I do feel like there's more things you're not looking forward to than there are things that you're looking forward to.
Um, I'll be honest. The not sleeping thing is something I've thought about. You want to just do the Reddit post now, so we could just
Yeah. All right.
we're gonna double talk about what we're doing if we
Yeah,
don't
let's
do it
just do
now.
All right. So this will be our Reddit segment of the week, and then we'll talk about your weekend. Why do some parents get so? The premise of the question is stupid, but with it, we'll get to the point. Why do some parents get so upset when other parents are one and done? We are a one and done family, but our families and friends who have multiples get so annoyed by that. We hear comments saying we will regret it, our child will be lonely, selfish, needs a sibling, etc. And to be honest, our friends with more than one kid don't seem that happy anyway. So what gives? Fucking jerk off, but you know,
Yeah. No.
I guess
I
I
feel
wanted to
like
more
the
talk
only
about like the premise of both.
yeah, but I just feel like the only pressure people would get would be from family. I feel like, not friends or other parents. I feel like that's crazy.
That is crazy, yeah. Um, I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I guess it depends on what pressure means, right? Like, we were at the park the other day, and like, one of our friends was like, "Yeah, I don't want to have another kid, but like, I also don't want to like wait too long, you know." And like, that's pressure, right? Because like they're talking about it in front of you, and like, whether if you had already decided you're gonna want to have one kid, that's kind of pressure, like, because they're saying a negative outcome of what you're doing. You know, I doubt it's probably people coming up to him and being like, "Your kid's gonna be lonely." Although that's what Marissa says to me all the time when I say I just want one kid. Um,
So I think that's like could be true, right? Like, your kid could be lonely if all you did was never ever leave your house or even play with your own kid.
right.
Like, if your kid is going to be a social kid, like, I don't think it matters. And he might even not be. Your kid could be a lonely kid with siblings. He could just be a
100%.
loner. Like, that's just so. I always felt like, oh, single kids could be weird. And then I like think about it and I'm like, are they though? Like, no.
Yeah, like they're no more
Like,
weird than fucking I am. So
yeah, like, so it's all, I don't,
yeah,
I don't
one thing
care.
that's interesting though is to think about is like when you have one kid and you know you're gonna have other kids, you have this feeling of like, wow, it's gonna be cool when we do some of this again, or wow, it's gonna really suck when we do some of this stuff again. Like the sleep thing I'm dreading, like especially with having like a toddler, like because like I used to just get up at 9, like I'd be like, oh, baby woke up at 6. You know what? He's going down for a nap. So the fuck am I? Like, not gonna happen when you have a
Yeah,
kid.
like Michael slept till 8:45 Sunday.
Oh, nice.
8:45. And I slept till 8:45. Like, that can't happen. That honestly, I having another kid, I want to try and like mentally be aware of the moment more. I felt like I was in straight survival mode like the first time.
So you think you're gonna love your second kid more than your first kid?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want to like mentally be in a better place.
You want to be more like in the moment.
In the moment.
It
Yeah,
sounds
I will
okay,
say
yeah, like, but yeah,
that
I can't say that.
no, you can't. My brother-in-law, so they just had their baby on the 8th. He said on Twitter so it's public. I'm not like outing him. The hardest thing about having a newborn is his toddler.
True.
You know, like, so my niece is very different than Michael, whereas she, and always was like this with Michael, and even though they're the same age, she's very, I guess motherly is the word. Like, she wants to do everything for you. She wants to she wants to pick you up. Like when she was walking before Michael, because she's older, she was literally lifting him up, like, hey, get up.
My man. Yeah.
So like, I could see her being difficult because she wants to like change the baby, feed the baby, where like that's annoying.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas Michael would be annoying in a different way, where like he would get very jealous and like very attached and not let you give the other kid attention. Like he won't even let me kiss Nicole.
That's interesting.
And that's new. I'll be like, Mikey, can I kiss mommy? He'll be like, no, and he'll flip out about it.
That's pretty funny.
So, like Mikey would just be different, and that would still be hard, just as hard or more. You know, I'm not saying one's more harder than the other. I can't imagine what they're going through, to be honest. But I think the no sleep thing would be tough.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, even like daylight savings time right now is fucking me up. Again, like the thing is you get kind of used to it, right? To an extent. But like that first like 8 weeks or so is like, oh fuck. I'm just like, I don't know.
See, to me, it's like the first, well, with one, it's a little different, but the second is probably just out of control. But the first couple weeks, you don't even like realize. And next thing you know, you're like, I'm a zombie. Like you don't even realize what's happening, and then it happened, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Right?
Like I am shot right now. Mm-hmm. What day is it? Like, what's happening? Like, and I remember the worst part was when Nicole was still home, and I would go to work, and I'd come home, and she would have just had a day from hell because, you know, as you know, Michael had the colic, he had the milk thing, and it took a long time to figure that all out.
Right.
He was really hard, and you know, I'd come home from work and Nicole would hand him to me because she needed a freaking break because it was from 7 to 5. Right, you know, right. Like I'm not saying I don't get it, but like there was just, that was hard. Where it was like I'd come straight home from work and handed like a crying baby, and it's just like, all right, I need a break. I'm like, oh, okay, like that.
Yeah, like that's some of the things like I think we still struggle with is that idea, because like it's like nobody gets a break ever. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you don't.
And like when anybody like it almost feels like when you're taking a break, you just feel bad because you're like, I gotta be doing something. Like that's why the other day when you were sick in your house, you were like, I should clean the toilets, like, you know, like because you just feel bad.
I was like, oh, I'm home from work. The air conditioning guys are here. Should I sit down? I sat down and like sitting down, I'm like, fuck, like I feel bad about this. Like I got to do something. I literally was scrubbing the toilets clean. Like, what am I doing? Like, just sit down and shut up. But you know, you got to get shit done, unfortunately. Because if you don't, it's bad. It's real bad.
All right, let's move to something a little more positive, I guess. Tell me about your weekend with Mikey.
Oh, my weekend with Mikey.
I feel like it was positive. Or wait, was it negative?
My weekend, it was great.
Okay. Are we freezing?
You froze.
Oh, okay.
Or I froze. Someone did.
All right,
we're good now.
So what happened?
Couple things. One thing that led to a bad dad moment of the week for myself was we went to the park, and I had actually told our friends that we were going to the park and we should meet up, blah, blah, blah. I ended up going to the park like later than I thought because Michael was playing with our neighbors. And like we played for like 20 minutes and then he wanted to go to the park. So we were already outside and like we get there, we're playing. And then my friend's like, yo, you guys go to the park? I'm like, yeah, we're here now. Come. So then I was like, shit, like we've already been here like 15 minutes. By the time they get out of the house and here, it's going to be another 45 minutes. And my bad dad moment came was as soon as they pull up, Mikey's like, eat, eat. I'm like, you're hungry, bud? I didn't pack any snacks. Zero snacks.
So what'd you do?
So for the he got distracted because his friend was there, and like every couple minutes he'd come up and be like, eat, and I'm like, sorry, bud, nothing to eat. What made it worse is for some reason he's been obsessed with the ice cream man, even though the ice cream man hasn't come. Like he just looks out the window and he goes, ice cream man. I'm like, not right now, but if you see him, I promise we'll go get ice cream. Like, I swear. And hello, Luna. And we pulled up to the park and we heard the ice cream man. And I was like, Mikey, the ice cream man's coming. We'll get ice cream. Never showed up.
Oh my god, that's fucked.
He must have just left, Like, he must have already been there.
Right.
But I heard him in the park and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And it wasn't awesome. Luckily, he like got over it,
right.
But like I was doubling down on like the bad snack dad part. But the weirdest thing happened at the park, and I brought it up to Nicole like a day later, and she was so happy that I noticed it because she noticed it. It was pretty packed because it's been cold, and it was like kind of nice. And this guy was trying to call his daughter by like the same way I would call my cat right now. He was like, "Come here, Ashley." And like put his hand out, like calling her.
What's the noise he was making? It's so weird. The microphone will not pick up that sound.
Like a clicking, like a.
Yeah. It's like cutting it out.
Like a cat noise.
Like, do you hear it when I'm making it?
He was like.
No, right?
No. Oh, it must think it's like background noise or something.
Yeah, so basically like the clicking noise. But yeah, okay, interesting.
Like to call it a cat or a dog. And God. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like I would never be like, Mikey, come here, boy. Like, and whistle at him. Like,
right.
Like, maybe if I had a dog, it would be different. Like, because it's just like something I would instinctually do.
It's because it's something you do way. Like with your cat, you're probably not every day like, come here, Luna. Like.
Yeah, maybe, but like I just like if you want to do that, fine. But it felt really weird at the park, and like
that is
I
really
didn't
weird.
like
You have to catch it immediately. Like you should catch it on the second click. It shouldn't be something.
No, he
like,
kept going, dude. I don't know. I felt weird about it.
I do not like that at all.
Yeah, and not for any other reason of just like, what are you doing? Like that's what you went with. Like, it's not like weird in any other way outside of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's just like, what the fuck, man? It's just like I just know I wouldn't want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah, like absolutely not. But yeah, so then the next day we went to the museum, the kids museum.
How do you like that?
And Michael had a blast. Like he didn't want to leave, but it was like 1:00, and we were like, "You still have to eat lunch and take a nap." Like we got to go. So we had to like fight him to leave, which was fine. But he had a great time. I did notice a couple things. One, Michael, he's upgraded from bullying children to he bullies older kids now. Like he walks straight up. There's like a little sandbox with like lobsters and crab, like fake like toys and like fish you can catch. He walks straight up to this like 4-year-old girl who's like double his height and just like steals her bucket. Like just walks over and takes it from her. And the girl starts hysterically crying. And the other day at the library, Nicole told me that there's this like 3.5 to 4-year-old playing with like these like fake cakes. The kid was stacking them up like perfectly and like setting them all up. And as soon Mikey would stand on the other side of the room, watch him do it, wait for him to finish, and go up and just swipe him. And the kid was crying. And another like weird dad thing, this guy was like not yelling, but like being like, "You're letting a 2-year-old make you cry. Like he's a baby. What are you doing?" Like just being like such a jerk to his own kid. And it's just like
that's like so bizarre when people act like that.
Yeah, like come on, man. Just your kid's just being bullied by a 2-year-old. It's okay.
Dude, it's interesting you say that. Brought me. We went to the park the other day, and Chenzo found chalk. He's never played with chalk before, so he was like, "What's up? Like, what is this stuff?" So he's covered in chalk, but I guess it was this other kid's chalk. And he's like doing this thing now where anything he has, he just wants to give away, like food, everything is just like, here, take it. Like,
yeah, my kid did that. Yeah.
So he's like the other kid was like 4 probably, and the mom was sitting there with him, and I was kind of like sitting further away, like letting Genzo just kind of like interact with his other child, and the mom was sitting there with them, like, oh, he's giving you a chalk, and like Genzo would hand him a chalk, and then the kid would like go down to draw, and give Chenzo the other piece of chalk, and then Chenzo would like, here you go. And like, it was just funny to watch him like repeatedly hand this kid the other chalk, and the other kid was getting so annoyed. He's like, just keep the
it's
chalk.
Funny when you when you see kids, like, it goes two ways. They get mad and just keep doing it because they probably have a younger sibling or something and they're used to it,
right?
Or there's kids who are just like, fuck no, dude, like, leave me alone, like, I'm done here. Just fucking go away.
Yeah, so
it's just funny to watch that repetitive nature.
I like seeing him with other kids now because like it makes me feel like, all right, he's not like that bad off that he hasn't been hanging out like with kids at daycare all day. Because like he doesn't seem to like be afraid of them at least, which I was like nervous about.
Yeah, I knew you were nervous about like just him not interacting with a lot of kids, but I wouldn't be too nervous about that.
Yeah, and I think I tell the story about the daycare on the pod that we visited?
I don't think so.
So we visited a daycare, and we've been like looking around for a while, but we visited this daycare, and I don't know, we pulled up. I just like always get an eerie feeling like right away when I know something's off, and like Marissa just says I was already overreacting, but anyways, we go into this place. The woman at the front desk goes, "You bring in a toddler?" And I was like, we have like a meeting like to like meet somebody about him maybe coming here, and she just goes, "You bring in a toddler?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's a toddler." I was like, "What? Who are you?"
That's so weird.
And she's like, "Yeah, you're Marissa. You're here for the you're gonna visit." And I was like, "Okay." She never introduced herself, this woman, ever, the whole time. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So she was like, "Let me go show you the teachers." So she brings us into this room, and like, whatever. The kids were all fine, obviously, but there was 2 women. One of them was, I don't know if this matters, probably 78 years old, and the other one was probably also in the 70s. And then when they asked her to say her name, she had such a little amount of teeth, like she had 0 teeth, so I couldn't even understand her saying her own name. And Marissa was like, "Oh wow, this is so nice," like acting so nice, and I was just like, "What the?" I was like, I'm like looking around the room. I'm like, "So, where do the kids sleep?" And they're like in here on their cots, and I was just like, "What?"
So I asked Nicole about that.
What
Nicole
did she
said that's
say?
like pretty standard.
That's pretty standard.
It's pretty standard.
I just didn't know, and like they didn't like go to show us. Like I'm like, so they just like leave. I was like, do they just leave him in the room? Like, is that what Nicole said? They just leave him in the room?
I think. I didn't ask that.
I just like don't like. I don't think my son is gonna sit in a cot. I mean, like I don't know. Like I just
He
don't know.
wouldn't at first.
Right.
It would if it became like a norm, then that's just what it would become.
Right.
But it would be a tough like week or 2 for you guys and them.
I think
it
so,
would be
yeah.
tough.
So, anyways, I was like, okay. So we like walked out, and I was like, I don't know. Like I'm just getting bad vibes, and like I'm like watching Chenzo like while Marissa's like talking to the woman, and I'm like, so I finally get to say to the woman, the place is called Stephanie's. So I finally get to say, I'm like, "Are you Stephanie?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, could have fucking introduced yourself. And so like Marissa's like, "All right, cool, sounds good." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna start next Monday." And I was like, we're going for it, huh? Like, okay. And then
Cool.
we walked out, and like I called my parents, and I forget like what it was that like specifically made me be like, fuck this, dude. But we ended up just canceling and not doing it.
Personally, I wouldn't have. it's a different situation from when we were first looking for daycare for Michael because Michael was like a baby,
Right.
you know? It's definitely different. Me personally, I wasn't a fan of the whole daycare idea like at all. Like it just wasn't ever something I went through as a kid or my
Yeah,
family just watched us or my mom didn't work. Like it's just what it was. And I'm not saying that's a realistic option for anyone
Right.
now because obviously Michael goes to daycare. But like the whole idea of daycare like really threw me off like at first because it just was not a norm for me.
Yeah, and I think when you first have, especially your first kid, like I don't know, like even like now, like I have like this attachment where I'm like I don't really want him to like be at this place all day without me. Like, what if he's sad? You know? Like,
Yeah,
and like
it's
here's
hard.
the thing,
I'll
though,
tell
like,
you, it's hard. It's hard.
Here's the difference. Like when I walked into that place, it felt like I was walking into like it. It didn't feel like because you drop Mikey off at a house, right?
Mhm.
Like I do feel like there's a level of difference. Like when you're bringing him to a home, like where I was I was bringing him to it was like a place where like it felt like a facility. Like it just felt like so fucking cold and like I don't even know, dude. It just felt funky.
I will tell you, Michael, every single day is upset about it. He cries about it. You know what was really fucked up today? I go open the door. I say, Mikey, we're here. I go to get him, and he goes, pinky promise. And I had a pinky promise him that we were gonna pick him up and see him later.
Oh God, that's so sad.
Like it makes me like my mornings. Sometimes they're really difficult. Sometimes we have a good morning, but like I'm never happy.
Right.
Like it's sad. Like he's very sad that he's going there. Like, and when he's there and he's hanging out with his friends, his cousins, like he's having fun. And I've picked him up before, and he wouldn't let me leave. Like he doesn't. Like when he's there, he has fun most of the time. But like every morning is sad. Like I'm sad, he's sad. I'm like, it's fucked up.
I wumbo, you wumbo.
Exactly. We wumbo. Like, so I get it. And like you said, I drop him off at a house. So like it's like less sad.
And I guess to me, like, in my head, like I guess that's like the way I envision it. Like I'm sure it's just as sad. Like I'm sure it's the same feeling that you have doing that I would have doing this. Like in my head, it feels like it was just. I guess it might just be this place, though. You know what I mean? Like we're waiting on this other place that might open up in the summer. So like I feel like it'll be a lot like happier people. Like I just like wanted someone to be smiling when I went there, and I felt like nobody smiled at me, and I was like, if nobody's smiling at me, like what are we doing here? Like this is a kid's place.
Yeah,
somebody fucking smile.
It's just misery all day. I get you. No, I get you. Daycare's it's tough. It's really tough. It's I don't know. It's hard to have one working family member. It's very hard.
Yeah, I don't think that's
it's
the
not
cards for us.
So, it's just what it is. It's unfortunate, I guess, but that's just what it is. I do have one question for you.
All right, this will be the question of the week then. That's our new segment, question of the week.
No, we got a lot of new segments today. We're really ramping it up for episode 50.
All right, what's the question?
I noticed at the museum a very wide array of parenting clothing styles. So typically when we go somewhere, Nicole always looks like prettier than me, right? Like she'll be dressed up. For instance, she just looked pretty when we went to the museum. I wore sweatpants, a non-matching sweatshirt, and Crocs, and like a black hat. Like I was, that's just what I looked like.
Right.
And I was just noticing like all the different parents' outfits. Like there was a guy there who wore like something that was probably the most fancy thing, more fancy than the most fancy thing I ever wore besides a suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was just dressed like very nicely.
Right.
It's like a handsome guy, and I'm just like, what are we doing, man? We're at a museum, like a kids' museum.
Right.
Not at like the Natural History Museum or something. You're at like a children's museum where you're gonna like be playing with your kid. Like,
Right.
I felt weird about it. I was definitely like the low on the totem pole
Okay.
in terms of like
Okay. Yeah. Your
what.
Crocs
And
weren't like the
plus,
highest level of style there.
no, plus my beard was like a little too long.
Okay.
Um, and Nicole looked pretty, and like most moms, especially young moms, like all kind of dress the same.
Okay.
Um, but my question is, where are you on the totem pole of? I feel like you were never even like a sweatpants kind of guy, really. I feel like
don't
that's just
like going out in sweatpants. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't know. But here's the thing, like I don't get to go out a lot. Like I'm in the house a lot. So like when I get to do stuff, I like to like wear the clothes that I have. So like I don't know, like but I don't dress up. Like, dude, the other day, I think you probably saw this on Instagram. The other day, I'm wearing literally this sweatshirt and jeans and like a pair of Nikes, and Marissa's wearing orange sweatpants, like her like New Balance, her like white dad style New Balance shoes, and like
Okay.
I don't even know what shirt, whatever, like some kind of like sweatshirt shirt. And we get out of the car, and this guy gets out of the car next to us, and he goes, "I love your guys' outfits." And we're like, "What the fuck?" Like it caught us so off guard, and I was like, I feel like we dress very, very average. Like Marissa, anytime we go out on Saturdays, Marissa's in sweatpants, sweatshirt, and I'm always in jeans and a sweatshirt.
I mean,
like wearing jeans.
I pretty much only wear sweatpants.
True. The thing,
Like I'll wear jeans if I'm going out to eat.
True.
But actually, no, I went out to eat yesterday. I wore sweatpants.
If we go to a pizzeria though, right?
Yeah, but I still went out in public to eat and sit down at like the restaurant part, you know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: like, we go out from 9 to like 11 in the morning, and then I come home and the first thing I do is put my sweatpants on. Like, it's just like I don't know. I just like I only get so many opportunities for the outside world to see me, you know.
I guess. See, like for work, I wear jeans and like a polo every day, but like I'll wear a sweatshirt. Like so, I just look the same every day.
I mean, I wear that's what I wear to work too. I wear jeans and a polo every day, like in my house.
Yeah, well, if you work at home, you gotta have some sort of routine. You can't just show up like in your underwear.
Yeah, I mean, like some days I'll definitely like. Some days I'll wear sweatpants at work, or like in the summer, like I wear shorts every day. Like I like wear like my like not dress shorts, but like my nicer shorts, I guess. You know, like what are they called?
Mm-hmm.
They're not like
khaki shorts.
like khaki shorts, I guess. Yeah.
Like golf shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Just because like that makes the most sense to wear like with a polo. You know, like I'm not gonna like wear like my nylon shorts and like a polo. It's like I don't know.
I always find it funny when people wear like a dressier shirt with like sweatpants or like gym shorts. Like, what's happening?
I guess they're probably working from home because that happens to me all the time. Where I'm like, fuck, I gotta go outside and like get the fucking mail, and I look like a schmo.
How far is your mailbox?
It's not far.
Like, is it like on the street though?
Yeah.
Wow, you've really made it.
Is that a sign of making it?
Yeah, man. I mean, my mailbox is right at my front door because the mailman doesn't have to go far.
What? My mailman doesn't even get out of his car, bro.
If your mailbox is on the street, it means you have like a big property. Like you can't just have the mailman going all the way up and down all these people's houses. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I guess I made it.
You made it, man. Congrats.
Thanks. I don't have any great expectations for this week. I don't think. Let me think.
Ooh, I have homework for you.
Oh,
I have homework for you.
All right, so this is our new segment, homework of the week. What's the homework?
Yeah, I really want you to learn how to make Caesar salad dressing.
All right, I'll do that. Next week's episode, we'll make for the 50th episode.
And I want you to learn about fruits and vegetables.
All right, I'll come to the table with fruits and vegetables next week. All right, that's this week's episode of Two Dads, One Sippy Cup. Give us a like, a follow, a comment, a suggestion, a recommendation. You can call us mean, arrogant, make mean comments about Mike so he feels some bullying. That would be good for us. I think it'll build our character. And we will see you next week.